Okay, today I would like to answer the question, can you mount Aputure Light Dome 150 on a cheap lights and can they sustain it? So I'm risking my Godox SL-60W, then I got Quadralite, which is Godox in Europe, Move X200, and then the Pulse Pro X400. And I also got Amaran 300C, which I'm recording on, or which I'm using now to record this, but then I can switch with SL-60W. And the problem is this modifier is quite big and it weighs 3.3 kilos, which is 7.3 pounds, at least what they list on their page. So it is quite heavy, and also it is front heavy because it is very, very long. I'm also using quite cheap stand, and first I would test this with the bowen's bracket for the flashes. So you can adopt bowen's mount for the flash. And I got two 10 kilo sandbags on each leg, or two legs of this stand, and this is quite cheap. Quadralite stand is R275. It is quite nice, but for such big modifier might be too flimsy. I got something beefier, but it's too tall to mount this modifier inside, so I have to test with this one. We got this bracket and 4 lights to test, so I have to assemble this and see how it goes. So there is a grid and there are two diffusions. One of them is 1.5 stop and the other one is 2.5 stops. I would probably use the denser one. And here is the softbox itself. It is quick release one, so that's a plus. Although the mechanism is like in Dome 2 or the Neewer I reviewed lately. So you have to pull 16 rods and then these tags lock in place, and if you want to unlock it, then you press each rod, then you press each of these tags and this closes. And I think also like the Aputure Dome, you have to then adjust the velcros, which is quite annoying. So let's try. You have to pull quite far away for this to open. Three more to go. And I've seen that for the last few you have to like aggressively pull, like dynamically, not just pull slowly but just quite fast. And the last one, and now I have to close the Velcro, which is the most annoying part, or I just don't know how to do it. Managed to close the Velcros, and let's see if I can mount it on this thing. Not sure, maybe it's too high. I moved the lamps back for the safety, and now I have somehow mounted into that bracket. Oh man! I guess I have to undo the Velcro. This probably blinds the camera, but it is huge, I have to say. It's not even in the frame, and this is 18mm, so let me lower this. This bracket is sagging a bit, and I guess it's on the verge of holding up. I will attach the diffusion and the grid, because even though they are not very heavy, they are front heavy, so we'll see. So I already heard that the diffusion got quite amount of the slack. Actually, this grid is quite heavy. I will check the weight. So the grid weighs almost 400 grams, so like a pound, so quite heavy. Let's see how it holds. Yes, there is a loop, but not as big as I've seen in the reviews. Let's attach the grid. I got this one because it's a quick release one, and the bigger the softbox, the harder it is to assemble it if it is not a quick release one. This one was even quite hard, not as hard as Dome 3. I actually missed the opportunity to buy 150 parabolic used softbox for 120 bucks. This thing is here more than 200 euros, and it's around 200, maybe it was even 250, but in States this is usually $230, which is better deal than here. And for the quick release, it's not that expensive, although the Godox one, the 150, is cheaper, not the parabolic one. They got the QR-P90T, I think, but it's not available in whole Europe. I checked like every online shop, and it's too expensive to get it from States. So also there is non-light parabolic quick release, not available in Europe also. So that is the only option in Europe and Poland at the moment. The Godox one might be better because it is lighter, but it is not as round as this one, because again this one got 16 rods but got 32 points of contact, so it makes it more round than any other softbox. Okay, and I've heard some complaints regarding the grid, that the external combs or the external squares are bigger, and that it seems to be the case. And the problem is that if you got the windows in the shot, then even if you turn this 45 degrees from the window to cut the reflections with the grid, some of the cells are still visible, which might be quite annoying. Anyway, it holds on the bracket, which is quite surprising. I'm shaking the bracket and it is all good, so that's a good sign, because generally Aputure claims that this is compatible with Amaran 150C and 300C. I got 300C, and that's why I bought it, and I also bought it for my studio strobes. So I wonder if they can hold this without breaking the mount or breaking the bowens. So we'll see. But this bracket is all plastic and it holds it up, and even if I shake it, it is all okay. It is bowing a bit after I attached it, but it keeps it, but it haven't sucked totally, so I guess it's a good sign. So now I will test one of the lights. It is not that heavy as it looks, I have to say, so let's see the lights then. What is different between these lights is that SL-60W mount is all plastic, so this part seems to be plastic, this part, the handle, everything is plastic. I wonder about the mount. The mount seems to be made of metal, so it's a good news, but it's kept by 3 small screws. So I'm not sure, maybe this light would be damaged after attaching this, but I'm taking the risk for you. Give me a like, and if it's broken, then you have to support me on Patreon. Let's check. It is sagging a lot, but it's holding. Although it seems like something may break anytime in the mount. So, I don't know, should I shake it? It is holding up the softbox, but I'm skeptical about this. So with a SL-60W, I guess I wouldn't mount it. It is holding up, but the tension on the light, so this was straight before I mounted this, and now it is bowing to the front, and it seems like a lot of pressure is put onto the mount. So Godox SL-60W, I wouldn't mount it, but it holds. So if you like the risk, you can use this big modifier with that light. Okay, so now I have to remove it without destroying the light, and this light tends to block the modifiers. It blocked one of my modifiers before, so I have to be careful. But this time it went off quite well. So Godox SL-60W passed the test, but I wouldn't risk it, I guess, for a longer period of time. Now it is Quadralite Move X200 that got different name in States. This is Godox branding in Europe, and this got the metal mount, but this internal part is, I think, plastic or maybe aluminum, anodized. It's hard to say. Yes, maybe it's aluminum. So let's see. But someone the mount, so I got different version of the same light, 400. Let me check it. Okay, so I got Move 400. It is the same mount, and this one works. So let me attach it. So it is attached like that. I'm kinda afraid about this part, but it is like 10 bucks, so worst case I will buy a spare. And the mount here is almost the same as in SL, but this is stronger metal. It seems much stronger than in a SL60, so this should hold. The mount should hold. Not sure about this one, but seems this is all metal except the handle. Let's see. Whoa, no. It cannot keep up. No, I cannot squeeze it more, and it's not holding this modifier, so. So the Move series won't work because it's too heavy, so as you can see. So this is how it looks like after trying to attach the modifier. I even cranked the handle more, but it was still going down, so it is no go with the Move X series, unfortunately. But I wonder about this, the Pro one, and I hope the Pro one would work with this one, because I want to use this one with my flashes. If it doesn't work, then I would be kinda disappointed with the Quadralite, which is Godox. So let's see, this Pulse Pro is in US. I will check and we'll let you know what is the name in States. So let's see if the last one works, and then I will check the Amaran 300C. Okay, so this mount kinda looks the same. It is a bit longer and looks that the metal is beefier, so I got some hopes. But I'm not sure. And the bowen's mount is actually all thick metal, and it is attached by 4 quite big screws. They are not like crazy big, but they look kinda beefy. So let me check the one. I hope it's working. Maybe I can... Okay, I can crank it a bit more without destroying it. But I guess this is the maximum. No, unfortunately it doesn't work. So it went down already. So I'm kind of surprised, because I thought the actually SL-60W will give up with all his plasticky mount, but actually this gave up. Maybe I will check again. Crank it a bit more. Nope, no chance. No chance. So I guess there is a way to attach the modifier to a clamp and then attach the light to it, but I'm not sure it works with bowens to bowens. So at the moment I'm kinda unhappy about this, because I wanted to have this mounted on these flashes, but worst case scenario, I can use it at 45 degrees and put the light higher, but I don't know, I would risk it. So maybe there are better flashes with better mount, so I guess maybe I have to think about it, or I can use this one, the bracket with AD200 for example, but I don't have AD200 at the moment, so I'm kinda sad. So all Godox / Quadralite lights failed the test, so this modifier is too heavy. There is this Godox one which is lighter, I think it's like 1 kilo lighter, so 2 pounds lighter. Maybe they will keep it up, but hard to say. So now I will switch my Amaran 300C to Godox and try this modifier on the Amaran. So now I got Godox SL-60W as my key light, and I will try the Amaran. The mount seems to be all metal, and there are these washers with the teeth between the metal parts of the mount, so maybe this could hold up. And actually Aputure lists this as compatible on their site, so they say this modifier is compatible with this light. It's kind of hard to believe, but let's try it. So I cranked up the handle quite hard, so let's see. I hope at least this one works. Okay, it attached. Oh man, I'm kind of afraid, but I'm here and it holds up, but oh man, it is both quite hard here, and also there is quite a lot of pressure on the mount. So I guess these Aputure lamps with the big yoke are much better for this. You know, it looks like it works at the moment, but I was kind of afraid to let it go, so I don't know. Can I bounce it? Maybe it's not that bad, because if I bouncing in it and it stays the same, but it is quite tense, I have to say. So I'll try to change the position of the modifier or the whole light and then crank it back and see if it's possible to keep it in the same position. Okay, it works, but the amount of tension which is put on the mount and the light, it's kind of questionable. But the answer is you can mount this modifier on Amaran 300C, so it means 150C2 because it's basically the same chassis, and you can actually mount it on SL-60W from Godox, and I'd say that Godox kept it better, but these two are working, but with a caveat that it seems like it may break anytime, and actually the Godox strobes, which are studio strobes, are not working with this modifier. So I guess I have to either find some solution. I mean, the solution might be to put something below the modifier to like offload some weight from the light itself and from the mount, but it doesn't work on the Godox lights, and one of which got the Pro in its name, so it doesn't. So hope it's helpful if you think about buying this modifier. I guess it's better suited for really big and beefy lights, not for the small ones like all the 5 I've tested. And surprisingly the bracket, I'd say that the bracket was keeping it the most straight. So that's the result, and I hope I saved someone a hassle. And I'm going to test this as a modifier soon, but I need better weather because it's really hard to set up inside. As you can see, it's really big. Cheers, mate.